Okay. Um, Updates. So I tried to put some makeup on, and surprisingly, my hair, this is a result of just, I don't know. I didn't iron it or anything. It's just, I took it out of a ponytail, and that's what came out. I'm going to be honest, it feels kind of hard to breathe right now. I have it came out of nowhere. Like labored breathing. I feel like I have a never-ending virus. So I don't want to be like downtrodden or pessimistic, because one thing I've learned is that the things you tell yourself and your predominant thought space, where you reside in your head, that will have a direct correlation on your body. And I'm not going to say and deny modern medicine. I don't think that that's possible, but I do think that the more you focus on something, the more you magnetize it to you, and the worse it can become. So I'm trying my best to think positively. It's really hard when you don't see, when things don't turn out the way that you would expect them to. And what do I mean by that? I guess I mentioned before about getting the justice or the closure. And I'm sorry, I have to take like deep breaths, because out of nowhere today, I don't know, again, hopefully I didn't breathe something in or touch something. Every day now I'm like my soap, I just bought new soap from Jewel Osco, and it like burns my skin. I'm so sensitive to everything. I'm not kidding, like it burns my skin or it itches it, and I'm like, great. And it smells good though. On the plus side, it smells good, so that's a good thing. But now, and I was breathing fine before, but now it's like, it feels like there's an elephant on my chest. That's what it feels like. And I literally just got over COVID, I think, or something like COVID 2 or 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I don't know why my body is in like this. I know I'm under a lot of stress, and when you're under a lot of stress, your cortisol levels go up, your immune system becomes more defenseless, and then you're more prone to, you become a magnet for germs and diseases. But like, I don't want to have to sit there and live my life wearing a mask, the rest of my life when I go to a grocery store or a CVS clinic or wherever. I will say I feel grateful to be alive. I'm surprised, honestly, I'm surprised that I'm alive, because I feel like I've had so many brushes with death. Like 2 nights ago, I was 94 degrees. 94 degrees, I didn't realize this, but if you go below like 98.6 is like the normal temperature, body temperature. And if you get to 94, maybe even 95, 94 is pretty bad. That's like hypothermia. For some reason, I don't know, I may have a really rinky-dinky thermometer. I may need to get a new one. I know the memory of it is full. So it's what I used to use it to track my my menstrual cycle, like for birth control, because I'm really sensitive to medications, so I didn't do birth control medication just because it made me gain weight. I broke out with acne and all this stuff. And I'm just trying to get my words. I feel so winded right now. It's so bizarre. Like, I feel so like to take a deep breath is like, and breathing wasn't an issue like a week and a half ago. Anyhow, if you are praying for me, thank you so much. I don't know you, but thank you. And thoughts and prayers go a long way, even to strangers that you don't know, so I do believe in the power of positive vibrations and positive thoughts. And one thing I will say is I did a reading for, let me close this because I hear the toilet running in the background and it's kind of, Bonnie's sleeping on the couch or sofa bed. I did do a reading earlier for myself, and it's so funny because for how shitty I feel, the outcome, what comes out is so positive, and I'm like, is this a joke? I'm like, why, how come this, why does it come out like this? And what came out earlier this morning when I did an oracle card reading for myself, or not really, I've done it for my spiritual readings before. If you do watch my spiritual readings, they don't get a lot of views, which I don't really mind. I just do it more so to help inspire people and give them hope and encouragement. I don't really get into too much of the nitty gritty like other people do with the investigations. I feel like once you trek down that territory, you're playing with fire, in that respect, because you don't know, you just don't know, so, I don't know where the deck of cards is, but it's right here. It's one of my favorite decks. It's the Earth Blessings Oracle decks. It says, let nature be your guide. And it's so funny, I'm in one of the most concrete places that you could possibly be in. Because Chicago is very much, it's a city, so it's building after building after building. And I know that if you go more south, and the South Loop, I think it's called the South Loop. And when I first got here, like when my brother moved here, we would frequent that area. Like when they put the green stuff for St. Patrick's Day, that area, they have that bridge. I forgot what it's called. I should know that. But I know they have Millennium Park, they have Lakeshore Drive. It's just, I think because I'm so traumatized, I can't even enjoy things that other people, like I know if it was 3 years ago and I had gotten here, I would be running along Lakeshore Drive, jogging, doing yoga in the park if I was closer to those places and spaces, but I'm not. And I kind of feel my building is very it's very slender. It looks super 1920s, 1930s. It's very vintage. If that's your thing, great. I thought it was going to be my thing. And I try to be grateful and remind myself, Ashley, you have a roof over your head. But all this other stuff that's been happening has been making it really hard to cope. And I know you can counteract that and say, oh, food allergies, food sensitivities, but I just don't think that the way my body has reacted to certain things, I just don't think that. And I just feel like my human rights and my I don't know if it's my medical rights or my medical liberties have just been not necessarily stripped away from me or taken away from me, but I just feel like there's a group of people or somebody that I don't know that is just, and I'm sorry if I cry about it, it's just really hard to deal with. And the hardest part is I know exactly what I need medically, because I worked in a hospital. I know exactly what I need medically, and that's fluids, electrolytes, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin B12, all of those things. I need probably respiratory support right now because my oxygen is good, but for some reason I keep getting, and here's my thing, and I spoke with a friend about this recently, and we discussed it, and I do think I have heavy metal toxicity or whatever you want to call it. My oxygen is 97, 98. I know that the more I talk about stuff that makes me anxious, my BPM will go higher, but I just know on average my BPM used to be in the 60s or 70s, and now the norm for me is 99 or 100 or 105. and that's not really good. Also something scary. I don't want to sit here and talk about my medical ailments over and over again, but I wanted to paint the picture of what it's like to be a targeted person and the impact it has on your psyche, and your body. You only get one body, you know? If you believe in reincarnation, some people do, some people don't. It's this idea that your soul comes back in another form or another body. But for me, I only have this body, like in this lifetime. And I feel like it's being brutally destroyed. My nervous system, I feel like, is just totally off kilter. My mood, the fluctuations and the instability has just, because imagine if I'm right about everything that I surmise. Let's say I'm right about God, my left ear just rings all the time, and I have to press on it to just make it stop. It's just like constant ringing in my ear. I lost my train of thought. Oh, if you constantly are being inundated or flooded with arsenic, thallium, mercury, other toxins, poisons, because I didn't realize how many plants, how many genus, species of plants and things there are that exist, how many venoms there are, and I think I've run through majority of them, and I don't know how to get those people to stop, because I don't know who it is, you know. I feel like it's a very tightly woven, interconnected group of people doing it, and they know that they're doing it, and I assume they find some sort of joy. Like, I find joy when I watch a funny movie, you know, or a funny video, or when I'm with my dog, or when I make someone smile, or I help somebody. These people find satisfaction and joy in hurting my mind, you know. Like I was trying to explain to my dad yesterday when we were out and about in the city, I was trying to get stuff for myself, like household items, and maybe it's just because my brain has become attuned or affixed to certain patterns, and I've noticed things, but the color white, you know, and my dad's convinced, he's like, no, the color white means innocence and purity, and I'm like, doesn't it mean like sympathy or grief or mourning, bereavement? That's what I thought it meant. And he's like, no, that's not. He's like, when people go to funerals, they wear black, but I'm just like, for some reason, with I hate, and I'm just going to be honest, because I hate saying this word, mind control. I hate saying that. Why? Because it comes with this negative connotation, a negative premise from years ago, from the whole, and it's all government related stuff, and I don't even want to trek down that road. I don't want to trek down that road, because I don't equate that kind of stuff with America. When I think America, I think rolling hills. I think 4th of July hot dogs. I know that sounds a very stereotypical, you know, thing. I think of golden retrievers. I don't know, I just feel like that's the standard. I don't know where golden retrievers were derived from, but I think of the Capitol in DC. I think of the White House. I think of the Statue of Liberty, all the staples and the landmarks, and baseball. That's a super American thing. My mind doesn't go to that, and I feel like there are people that are doing that kind of stuff, and they're being really petty about it. And you would say, oh, just be stronger than that, don't pay attention to it. Well, it's really hard not to when it's all around you. And if you say, well, Ashley, why would they do that for you? Why would someone sit there and purposely go, oh, she's stepping outside her door, go now, walk in front of her, say this, this, and this, wear this shirt, you know, because they know that it'll affect me to some degree, you know, because you think, oh, white, oh my God, am I dying? Like, am I sick? Do I have an illness, like an incurable disease? Is someone in my family going to pass away? Am I going to pass away? Like, these are the things that I'm not kidding. And unfortunately, when you're a card reader, and this is also something else I wanted to mention, very, very important. Card readers out there, especially if you're targeted ones, or if you're very naturally inquisitive, be very careful when you inquire about things in this, you know, the spiritual sense, because if you dive too deep, or if you hyper focus too much on stuff, you can actually mess up your own reading. I think that what I've learned is the best time to do a reading is not when you're confused, not when you're frazzled, not when you're desperate for answers, but when you're at peace and you feel some sort of calm and your mind is clear, because your mind, your thought vibrations, I think, will have a direct impact on what comes out. And your fears are very powerful. Very, very powerful. They magnetize, you know, energy to us. But just be very mindful, because I realized recently, as I was, you know, doing I made that medical deck, and I think I may retire it. I don't know. I may retire it because it just has a lot of not so great energy associated with it, and every time I look at it, I think confusion, I think pain, I think heartache, I think just fear, illness, all this stuff. And the other thing is too, I shouldn't have to do this. No one should have to do this. No one should have to make a deck of cards, write words on it with certain diseases like sepsis or whatever, you know, cancer. Like, I literally, I'm not kidding when I say I've asked myself, do I have cancer? Like, at one point, these people I was seeing so many billboards and so many ads about cancer at one point for like 3 years straight. When I moved to Philadelphia, then I moved to Virginia, and then I went to Vermont, like, everything was just cancer, 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 cancer. Either breast cancer, colon cancer, bone cancer, brain tumor, like, even like when I got something in the mail when I was living in Vermont, there was a flyer from the Children's Cancer Research Fund or something, and it said, you helped this little girl live out her dream to be a police officer, and now she's fighting, I don't know if it was a brain tumor or AML or CLL or some blood cancer. And like, at that time, I remember I felt so weak. I felt like, when I tell you, I felt so weak and exhausted and debilitated every day. I'm sorry, I have a little phlegm accumulating in my mouth. I immediately was like, I don't know, my mind just, I kept thinking, and I would see ads on my YouTube page, get tested for cancer, do you know a loved, like, it was just everything. And I'm like, I didn't purposely seek out stuff about oncology, and that's the thing, that's what I mean by the mind games are playing on these ideas. And I would see it on billboards when I would move from city to city, or if I took a day trip somewhere. Or I remember when I was in Virginia, there was a lady, I don't know if she shaved her head on purpose, but I did a ballroom class with her. She was so toned. Oh my God, she was such a fabulous dancer. Fabulous. But she had her head shaved. And I was like, I wonder if in my head, I'm like, I wonder if she's going through chemo or something. Recently also, I went to Target, and there was a lady who, she also had no hair. She was very tall, she seemed very athletic and in shape, but she had no hair, and I don't think she had eyebrows, and she had like it looked like a shower cap, or like a hospital cap on her head. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I hope she's okay, you know. But these are the things that play on you and weigh on your mind, and you start to wonder, and it may not have any correlation to you, but that's the point. My point is that the mind control thing will snatch you and just eat you up alive. And I still don't know what is going on with my health, and I do know that I'm pretty sure I'm immunocompromised, because there's no way someone could get sick over and over and over again. I had what I felt like COVID 3 or 4 weeks ago, and now I have low-grade fevers that just refuse to go away. I was afraid of developing sepsis. I know my mental state kind of has been wonky, but then at the same time, heavy metals causes a lot of the symptoms that I'm experiencing: the irritability, the mood volatility and the fluctuations, the hair falling out. My hair may look okay, but I have tons of hair. Like, I have really thick hair, and I've lost a surplus amount of hair. I could probably donate it to make a wig. And people would go, oh, you know, maybe that's hypothyroidism or some thyroid issue. I've had thyroid issues before, and I've never had my hair come out in droves like that. But you can also say, what if that's stress? But anyways, in my reading that came out, it says, surrender, wish, may your wishes be granted and changed. Prosperity, abundance, success. So, and it's weird because the energy right now doesn't feel like that. But I am petrified. Like, I am legitimately petrified. And even this morning, yesterday or the day before, my right eye, I was seeing these weird, I've never in my life has this happened, ever. I've had little floaters, like little white specks that have gone, you know, like I've seen little flashes of light. And I remember I went to a guy who used to do angel readings in Miami years ago, and he told me, he's like, make sure at this age you get your eyes checked out, because, you know, you may start seeing some things. And I was like, okay. But recently, for the second time, my right eye the other day, it was terrifying. I don't know how to explain it, but like this prismy thing, like this, it looked like a hologram thing, was over the letters and over the numbers of my phone, and I couldn't see stuff clearly. The letters weren't legible or visible. And then this morning, out of nowhere, my left eye, the same thing happened. Now, it could be a crazy amount of stress. I did read about stroke and neurological injuries, brain injuries, and I pray to God, because here's the thing, folks, and I'm not trying to solidify my faith, or like, I'm not trying to like, give credence to it, but I'm just explaining the situation of what's going on presently. I don't feel like, because of this targeting thing, I feel like I won't get proper medical care. And my parents go, oh, so you think a doctor is going to risk their medical license, or a nurse, for, like, and I go, I guess, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know how it works, you know, if the stakes are high, if someone's threatening someone else, or I don't know what, I don't know what, you know, it is very strange. Like, my chest, I literally feel like I have an elephant on my chest right now, and that didn't happen before. I was able to breathe before, so go figure. I do feel like a cat with 9 lives. I really, really do. I don't know how I'm alive right now. But I'm also having trouble surrendering and letting go. And you know how Mel Robbins says, let them? I don't know how to let them, because if I let my defenses down, because I'm assuming, to me, in my heart of hearts, I feel like a crime is being committed. My family doesn't think so. My family thinks otherwise. They don't believe that, they don't believe that I'm in danger. They just think that, like, I'm tired or that I'm stressed and nothing's happening to me. And that's, perception is everything. It's pretty remarkable because one person's experience can be vastly different from another person's experience, because what I'm going through may be totally different. Like, you walk down the street and you're behind me and you go, but I don't see the same thing she does. But that's, like, what was it? Reality is in the eyes of the beholder. We all perceive reality differently. So, but perception really is key. But for me, I know in my heart of hearts that there is legitimately, I feel like a crime has happened to me. And I don't have the tools. I don't have the technology. I don't have the intelligence to figure it out. And I feel like I'm slowly deteriorating bit by bit by bit, and people are putting me in bad health on purpose. Now, I don't know who would have access to viruses or diseases, and I don't want to go down conspiracy theory lane or rabbit hole lane, because that's just not who I am. I've never done that before. But it just, if you look at, and you could say, oh, maybe black magic or voodoo. Maybe. But I'm nervous to even eat food because I'm like, is the food going to be tainted with, bacterias or viruses? Like, I've had a pizza in the fridge that's a homemade pizza from a grocery store, like their own deli area. And I'm like, I tell myself, should I have bought that? Like, because that means someone else pre-made it and they could put stuff on it. And I still get nervous to eat out, to order takeout, because that means someone else prepared it, and they can put stuff in it. My world as a TI is vastly different than what a regular person's life is like. And I wish people would take that more seriously, because it is a true phenomenon. It is not something, I'm not crazy, I'm not making it up. Every day is like, it's like a surprise of like, oh, what's today? What's the challenge today? Oh, is it a fever? Is it going to be a virus? Is it going to be a snarky comment from someone downstairs? Am I going to touch? I almost twice now. I almost got trapped in the elevator of my building twice. I got in, and then so the elevator that we have here, it's not like a regular elevator. How do I explain it? It's like it looks like a cage. If I'm being honest, it looks like a golden cage. It's expandable and retractable, so it automatically closes, and then you see, actually, as you go down the floors, you see the concrete of the wall, like as you go down. It's very, very archaic. It's very old school, vintage. But when I got in it twice now, it didn't move. It didn't budge, and I'm like, and I couldn't, and it was locked, and I couldn't, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, so I had to think fast, and I go, oh God, I'm like, this is my worst nightmare. Being stuck in an elevator, like, but when I've been in a stairwell here also, because I used to live closer to the stairwell before, I sensed something weird in the stairwell a few times. So I don't really use the stairwell anymore. And I have to wear a mask everywhere, because the stuff that I've inhaled, it either made me feel like I was going to suffocate or I was going to get knocked out unconscious. And I'm not kidding. I swear to God, I would not make this up. I promise you, on my pop-op's grave, my pop-op is my grandfather, who, George, I'm not going to say his last name, but he passed away, and my Nana as well. But it's just very, very strange. It just, something feels off. And I don't know what I did. I don't know what I said. I treat people with the utmost respect. I follow the rules. The only thing I could think of, but I would never think that a vendor or a grocery store or multiple vendors would take revenge on a woman for, I bought I used my credit, it's so ridiculous, I've said it before, but I've used my credit cards when I've been in a bind, when I was a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, and I was trying to find a job, and I had to use my credit cards to survive. And I remember I didn't know what SNAP was or anything like that, and then I applied to SNAP when I was in Vermont, and I got it by the grace of God, because I didn't know Vermont's a very social, welfare-friendly state. You know, you learn these things. I didn't know this. So I got SNAP, and then I was allotted a certain amount of money, and then I would do Instacart like payment plans and stuff like that, and then I thought that was feasible. I did pay off some of them, actually, the Instacart ones, which I was really happy about, but like I used my credit cards to pay for that, and I did have money at the time. I was paying it off through stock that I sold, Apple stock, but then slowly my funds started getting depleted more and more and more, and then I didn't have enough money to start to pay off those bills. And I didn't even know what a minimum payment, please don't make fun of me when I say I didn't know what a minimum payment was. It wasn't until I called someone from Clear One Advantage or something, and he told me about minimum payments just for temporarily, for the time being. And then he also said, oh, you should look into doing DoorDash or Uber to make some money. And I was like, I don't have a car, so I can't really do that. And I was in a small town. And I almost actually did. I didn't even know what the process is to get a car. And then thank God, by the grace of God, a gentleman who drove me to and from different places, he's the one who gave me advice, and he's like, you can't buy a car and a credit card. I was like, thank God you helped me figure that out. But yeah, but what I really wanted to do an update on was that for anyone that does card readings out there, be very careful and mindful about when you read energy, because you may be projecting your own energy onto it, and then you may actually distort a reading and then get more confused. Because like for me, I know like I need to I don't know if I need to throw this away and I make a new one or part ways with it and just trust in God, because I can't, and I should, that's why I said I shouldn't have to do, because there's something called medical mediumship, which is basically like medical intuition, where you parasitic fungal viruses, mycotoxins. See, this is what scares me. I'm like, is that in the water? I don't know. Hopefully not. But I just don't, the energy that this deck now carries is like, I don't want to deal with it. I'm just like, I want positive things. I want uplifting things. It's also hard to cultivate that energy when your body feels low, when your energy feels stagnant and fatigued. And I hate feeling like that, because I was feeling energetic, but I've also been through excuse my language, I've been through a lot of stuff, and I've had to be really, really strong. And the prism eye thingy is really concerning, I will be honest. And I'm scared about going to an eye doctor, because you have to put your face up to the thing and they look at your eyes and you put your chin on the things. And I know they sanitize it, but like when I went to the hospital recently, they told me to grab the bars of like the thing. I didn't really hold on to them too much, because I was like, I wasn't wearing gloves, and I was like, I don't know who's touched this. And it reeked of chemicals. And he's like, take a deep breath. And I'm like, I am not breathing that shit in. So I just did a little like, so I'm pretty sure I didn't have pneumonia or anything like that, or RSV, but hopefully I don't have that now, because I literally I don't know what's going on with my body. It would be, you know, it would be a really interesting experiment or study, is that if you took me and you put me in like the ideal setting, and I had like, let's say I stayed in a beautiful hotel room for like 2 or 3 days, and I had a really comfy bed, beautiful sheets, I felt safe, I had good warm food, a hot breakfast, nothing tainted. I haven't had a good breakfast, a full meal in I'm trying to remember when. I don't know if it was January of this year, or probably like, no, either October of last year. I haven't had, I think, a true solid, like I'm talking, because I used to I don't know how to put pictures on YouTube. I know people edit videos much better, and they put little pictures, and they're like, oh, look over here, and click this link. I don't really know how to do that too well. But I learned how to cook, and I love to cook, and now I don't cook anything. Plus, it costs a lot of money, and Walmart is far, and my heavy cream from Walmart was funky one time. I felt really sleepy after I had some heavy cream, and I learned that people, with delivery people, if they wanted to, if they can get a syringe and put like drugs in it, I'm not gonna even go there. But anyways, I've been through hell, and I don't know when it's gonna end. And my heart, and I know, I don't know how, I don't know when. What's that song? Isn't that from Beauty and the Beats? I don't know when, I don't know how. No, that's Little Mermaid. Watching you'll see someday. Oh my god, that's Little Mermaid. She's like, I don't know when, I don't know how. But anyways, I got so sidetracked. I'm such a Disney kid, because I grew up on Alan Menken movies and stuff. But I got so distracted. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know what, like, I don't know when, and I don't know where either, and I don't know how I'm gonna move, because I don't have the funds to be able to do so. And you know, rooming with someone, that does present its challenges unless you know that person already, you know, because I've thought about, you know, I've gone on Airbnb, and there's other websites as well that you can like, because it's cost efficient, right? It's economically savvy to, if things were normal, I mean, I don't know, that's a huge risk to stay with a stranger that you don't know, but, and I don't advise it. Like, for me as a woman, I don't advise it unless you're like into jiu-jitsu and you know Krav Maga, and you have like, you know, your own little handgun or a BB gun or something. Like, I don't think it's safe, you know, to do that, just because you don't know who you're staying with. And it doesn't matter if it's an old person or whatever, you just don't know. You don't know how they run their house. You don't know what their procedures are. So, and it's expensive, like, and then living on your own, you know, the housing market right now is, what I've learned is like, and here's the thing, you can get like an efficiency or a studio, but you're gonna get like nothing. You're gonna get the size of this closet, probably 100 square feet. You know, you're gonna get a microwave, a small little half mini fridge, and it might be in the boondocks in a motel, in like near a strip mall. And I just know, I'm not trying to sound prissy or anything like that, and I know when people go through hardships, you have to go through these things, but it's like, I feel like for me, someone's doing it on purpose, and, you know, it's a humiliation ritual thing. So I've been just trying to figure out, what do I do, you know, where can I go, who's safe to go to, who's trustworthy. I felt very fortunate when I was living in Philadelphia. I had like a week and a half where I stayed with a friend that I met at a show for Into the Woods, and her mom was gracious enough to open her doors to me. And they lived in a suburban area of Pennsylvania, like outside of the city. And I was only there for like a week and a half, and then I left, and then I moved to Virginia. But I realized, yeah, city life is definitely not my thing. And I realized that, you know, there's that song, you can't always get what you want. That song just came in my head. You can't always get what you want. But like, in this situation or scenario, I feel like I've been sucked dry, and I've been pulverized to the ground so much that it's like, because imagine, like, I had to go through all my retirement, all my savings, and all my stocks. Like, I sold all my stock. I had a ton of money saved, and that was for when I don't need to cry right now because I don't want to have a headache, so I'm just gonna try to like plus my chest hurts, so it hurts to cry right now. But, and I'm not trying to be a drama queen, but that was supposed to be money that, like, when I was 60 or 70 years old, I was supposed to have that, you know, to fall back on. And I had money for my OT master's program, you know, and I had to spend 6 years of my life, it'll be 7 next year, next June, trying to survive just being bullied over and over again psychologically, and like with community harassment and noise harassment and hacking and cyberbullying and other stuff. And it escalated to being, I think, drugged and being poisoned, and that's terrifying. And how am I supposed to prove that? I shouldn't have to. A woman shouldn't have to even go on the internet and say, hey folks, hey strangers that I don't know, you know, this is my story and no one's helping me, and if you have any insight or advice, please let me know, because I don't know. I've already run through the gamut of things. I go, did someone start a nasty rumor about me? Did someone try to frame me for something? Did someone try to incriminate me in a crime? This little fly. I've thought about everything, and I go, did they get like a doppelganger? Was there a lookalike who looked like me, who, like, was this just a misunderstanding? Was this a joke? Like, maybe it was all a test. And I go, but who would do that for 6 years, you know? That's my life that got destroyed. And now I have to build it up piece by piece. And it's weird because, you know, readings are they're so powerful and so truthful, because like right here, and I have been having very turbulent emotions lately because I'm heartbroken. Like, I am genuinely heartbroken in the way that things have been handled. And I ask myself, well, Ashley, what did you want to see? Did you want to see someone arrested? And I go, well, if there's a crime and someone's purposely hurting me over and over again and exposing my body to chemicals, viruses, gases, poisons, drugs, things that I can't prove or see or touch because I can't do that. That puts me at a disadvantage. So And I'm not the kind of girl, like, I don't latch on to people for money. I don't want to use a man for money. Like, I'm not those women that are the sugar people. The sugar babies, you know, when they go and please, if you're one of those, I don't want to make fun of you. And some older men, they want company. I get that. And they enjoy having the company of a younger woman with them. I get that, because it makes them feel vivacious and youthful, and maybe some men are widowed and they want someone to share their life with. But I don't believe, like, I believe in hard work, dedication, putting the maximum effort forth, and like when I'm feeling at my optimal best, I'm like a powerhouse. I go boom, 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 boom. Whatever my tasks are that I'm assigned, whatever my role is, whatever capacity, I am like boom, 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 boom. Like I'm unstoppable. Like I will keep going. So, you know, but this is very hard. And my dad recently, he told me yesterday, he's like, this is your challenge. And I'm like, no, I was like, Dad, respectfully, no, this is not my challenge. This is a crime. Like, there's a crime going on. My human rights are being violated. And it's not normal to, I don't even know, like, how do you rig every single item in a grocery store? Like, it's impossible. Like what I'm saying sounds impossible. And I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I know that it could be fixed. Because if someone could very easily do it and facilitate it and initiate it, they can just as very easily reverse it. If that makes sense. It's like if someone, let's say people who do the spell work or magic, it's like they do that, and I'm sure that they could do other things to reverse that. I don't do spell work or magic, but it's like there's a musical, Into the Woods, and she goes, you wish to have the curse reversed, you'll need a few something first. The cow is white as milk, the hair is yellow as corn. The cow is white as milk, oh my god, I should know this. The cow is white as milk, the hair is yellow as corn, the slipper is something pure as gold, the cape is red as blood, or something. And I feel like whoever's doing this, they could very easily reverse it, and they don't want to. And I don't know if they're like laughing in my face and trying to make my life hard on purpose, and I don't know what the purpose or the motive is, because I didn't hurt anybody. I just don't feel like I'm being treated fairly. Like, I'm scared to touch door handles. I'm scared to touch buttons in elevators. God forbid, like, I ate some toasted ravioli from Aldi. God forbid they put, you know, bacteria or something in it. And then if you say, well, then Ashley, everyone would be sick. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. But I run through the gamut of things. I go, am I being murdered? It feels like a murder plot sometimes. I go, am I being murdered? Am I being assassinated? Like, why would someone want to do that? I've never, you know? I'm not a political commentator. I don't plan on running for office at all, ever, anytime soon. Not in this country or any other country. Murder that's usually when people, and here's my thing too, is that if this is the biggest conundrum I have, and the hardest thing to grapple with, is that if cops and law enforcement know that this is actively going on, they are being bystanders and letting it happen. They're watching my health deteriorate and watching me suffer. I mean, they say part of targeting is noise harassment, and I've been notating how many times I hear sirens. I know that sounds really meticulous, but because yesterday, it was, and the day before, it was every 5 to 10 minutes. I'm not kidding. And even so, if that was, let's say that was like God's way of warning me about something, like watch out, be careful. I already went to an ER. There was nothing that they could do. And when I went there, I ended up with a rash in my arm. I'm still healing from that. I felt horrible. Like, I literally felt horrible. The room that I was placed in, I don't know, I sensed a weird chemical smell, and I know they sterilize stuff, but this was not like it was like it smelled bizarre in there. And the sooner I could get out, the better, but I don't know how I'm gonna cope through this, because if I keep ingesting heavy metals and stuff, my body will fall apart. My body will deteriorate. You can't, no one, I mean, it'll be a miracle if I survive it, but your kidneys, your liver, and I know my liver is being affected because my urine is like orange. And I'm trying to push fluids down, even though I feel every time I drink fluids, it feels like shards of glass are piercing my body. So it's like imagine drinking imagine you need fluids, but you drink poison, because it feels like poison, and you're trying to nurse yourself back to health, but, you know, and I tried to eat fruit recently. That didn't go well. I gagged. Like, I literally ate pureed fruit, and I couldn't do it. It was just too pulpy. It was gross. You know? So, I don't know. Oh my God. I don't know why this came out. That's terrifying. That's terrifying. I hope that doesn't mean or signify me. Oh. Wealthy man, privileged lady. I don't know what that means. Endings, wealthy man, privileged lady. I don't know what that means. Official person. I feel very, 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 very lucky. I don't think I have superhuman blood. I've never been told I have superhuman blood. But half the stuff that I've gone through, if you people knew, like, imagine, like, this, I think the scariest one of all is the Botox. Because the Botox is a botulinum toxins bacteria, and that paralyzes you. Because think, it paralyzes your face, your muscles in your face. So imagine what it does to your insides. And I'm pretty sure, because the symptoms that I had when I think it was put in my soda from an order that I had, it was horrible. My heart rate just shot through the roof. I've said it before, my eyes went blurry. Like, literally, my eyes went like, I couldn't see out of both eyes. And I go, what's happening? And then I lost my ability to speak. My mouth went numb, my tongue went, I couldn't feel my tongue, and then I couldn't move my hand. So it was petrifying. And I just remember telling myself the whole time, I just prayed over and I said, Lord God, protect me. Christ Jesus, let your light shine through me. Holy Spirit, fill me with every breath I take. And I said, the Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in him and he helps me. And I just imagined like a shield around me. And I imagined like God's love and power surrounding me. And this is, mind you, I felt like I was dying. I felt like it was horrible. Anyways, I just don't know when this is gonna stop, and I really, really want it to. So I know I don't want to sound desperate. I really, really don't. I'm trying my best, and I feel grateful I have a job. You know, but any day that can change. You know, I try to make sure that I'm performing at a certain level, and I want to meet certain metrics and things like that, but at the same time, you know, you have to focus, because if you don't feel well, you can't perform at your optimal best. And that's my issue, is that I still don't feel 100%. And if I keep eating foods that are not safe, then You know, I'm never gonna get well. But it would be a very interesting, I hate to say the word experiment, but if I was like placed in an ideal setting where I felt safe and I had a comfy bed and clean sheets and a normal breakfast and clean orange juice and normal milk and Starbucks, because I really like Starbucks. I'm sorry, I do like Starbucks. And a normal life, like a normal life again, and I don't know when I'm gonna have that. I don't want to cry on camera because that just looks stupid, you know, but that's life, like that's human emotion, and no one's perfect, and life is not perfect. But it is weird because I know other people are living normal lives. Like other people are, everyone is. People are going out to bars, pubs. They have a doctor's appointment. They don't have to worry about, oh, is the chair going to have diseases on it? Is the doctor going to be honest and forthright? You know, is the room going to be sterilized? Are they going to give you accurate results? But I have to worry about those things. Like, I haven't even gone on a plane in years. And I probably won't because I don't think Bonnie, I would never put Bonnie in the cargo area anyways, just because I think she would not do well at all. And she also, I don't think, would do well unless she was like tranquilized on a sedative. She wouldn't do well in the seat or, you know, sitting underneath me. I have seen videos of like dogs, like service dogs, because she is a PTSD service dog. I need to get her papers renewed. And an ESA dog, and she has, if you're wondering, yes, I do have. That's her vest there. You would think she looks like a canine, like a, you know, the police canines. So, just, yeah, thoughts and prayers are very much appreciated, but I know I need to move and I need to get out of here because my health is suffering. And for some reason, my family, my parents don't see that. They go, oh, you need to go to the doctor. And I'm like, I need justice. You know, I need help. Like, I need, and not like very flippant, like, oh, we tried. And because that happened to me before when I was, and the thing is too, is that it's escalated, it's changed. My situation, it's no longer about one person. This is like, I think someone else or some other group of people that have decided to all gather up together, and, you know, and here's the thing, I don't even know why. I don't know if it's a spiritual thing. I don't know if it's a religious thing, political, or someone just randomly was like, we want to pick her and we want to make like her life miserable, and we want to study her and see how she reacts to it. I don't understand it. So I'm trying to focus. This morning I did listen to some affirmations. It's funny, after I sleep and I get rest, my body rejuvenates itself. I do feel better. Ow, ooh, my neck. Ooh. Oh my God. But after I do sleep, I do feel better. But then the moment I drank orange juice that I just bought. And yes, it does have citric acid in it, but I think I don't know if I chose the one with like no pulp or whatever. But it hurt me, like it put me in so much pain, it's not even funny. So, and I don't know, you know, and then to try to get other people to empathize with you or assist you, here's the hard part, is because I don't, like, if they help you, if they help you, right? Like, let's say they help you, then they're liable to also get harassed and targeted. 100%. Like, I think that's how it goes. That's what I read on the core thing, that if you're targeted and all this stuff happens and people are bullying you and harassing you in your community, and they start smear campaigns and put you on neighborhood watch just for whatever silly dilly reason that they have, because people make up stupid reasons, like, and they think that they're valiant. Some people are like, we're doing a service because we're keeping tabs on this woman because she's, you know, someone started a rumor, or there's different reasons why people get targeted and stuff. But and also I realized it can't be because of the bank stuff with the groceries and the debt stuff, because the harassment and stuff started even when I moved to Philadelphia, and that's when I had my savings and my money. So it can't necessarily be about that. So I know there has to be more to the story. But I feel like I'm trying to figure out, I asked God, I'm like, where do you want me to go? I'm like, where do you want me to go? My parents are convinced, they're like, you can't move right now. There's no way. And you're still like, you need to stay here. And I'm like, but what about my happiness? It's kind of like, you know, in the movie Cinderella, when Cinderella's father said, you know, she's like, I care about your happiness. And he's like, yes, exactly, my happiness. Because he's like, don't you think I deserve a little bit of that? Because his wife, who he loved, the first wife, passed away. And then she got really, really ill and stuff like that. And then that's when evil stepmother came in the picture. And she wanted to redo the house and the mansion and all that stuff. And she treated Cinderella like a fucking slave and put her in an attic and locked her away in the tower. Because she hated her. She despised her. It was really sad. And Cinderella was so good. Lily James did such a good job in that movie. But the character of Cinderella, she was so pure and kind-hearted. And people take advantage of people like that. It's really disgusting. But he did say, happiness, don't you think I deserve that? And it's like, I'm not trying to be selfish, but it's like, I do deserve that. And I don't want to live in a homeless shelter. I don't want to live in a motel. Those are really seedy and really grungy and dirty and dangerous too. Because I remember when I was looking on Airbnb, there was a motel that was renovated into, like, I think apartments or something. And then one lady wrote, oh, they were doing backhanded, you know, drug deals behind, you know, in the parking lot. And I was like, I was considered everywhere. Like, at one point I was considering Iowa, Wisconsin, ow, my neck, good Lord, I don't know what, sorry, I need to, ow. You know, I considered, like, everywhere. I have considered going back home to Florida, but Florida's very, very far. There's a fly that just refuses to go away. Florida's very, very far, and even though Orlando is there, and that's my home, you know, not Orlando, but like Florida is my home. I don't know what it's like now, but, and I really, you know, but the thing is I go, how, I don't know where I'm going to find true, honest medical care. And I'm not a doctor. I can't write a prescription. I can't order tests and labs and things. And I know that my body's not doing well. I know that I need fluids. I know that I need immunotherapy, electrolytes, a balanced diet, obviously. My thyroid is probably all out of whack. I need to detox my blood, 100%. I need to detox my blood. Like, I need to, like, complete, I'm talking, like, you know when you go on ECMO? Oh, ECMO is, they literally, like, when you're, it's a machine that literally pumps blood for your heart. But not like that, but I need my blood filtered, like, I mean, I'll put it this way. I've been so scared that I go, do I have Ebola? Ebola you can only get from Africa, right? And I haven't ventured to Africa, but I go, and the reason why I say this is because, and this is where mind control comes in, and forgive me if I'm reading too much into things, but I've seen license plates, like I'll be walking and it'll say, I've seen the license plate EB all the time. All the time I see EB. And my mind goes, EB, like what does that stand for? So, yeah. So I don't know what to do, folks. I don't know, and I can't leave the country. I can't go, I'm not going to go off grid and live like Christopher McCandless in a bus, you know, and do like, you know, it's a sepsis, no. You know, live, whatchamacallit, like out in the woods by a lake. You need a car for that, first of all, for survival people, if you're into that stuff. Because I've seen there's this one guy, he has his dog Nala, and it has adventures with Nala, and I really commend him because he has his little like RV cabin thing, but you need a car for that. You need like a portable stovetop, and plus that's more ideal like if you have a partner, if you have a, you know, a boyfriend or girlfriend or something to do that with, because it's you against the elements, it's you against, you know, poisonous insects, animals, bears, snakes, people. You know, you need to know how to survive, and I don't have the funds to be able to buy land and get a yurt and a tent, or, you know, I have seen yurts on like the desert in Arizona, but I just don't like I'm not, Arizona's, I already looked, that's like way too far, California's way too far. So I know you could say bloom where you're planted and make the best of the situation, but my heart, I know in my heart of hearts that I need to move. Sorry, my lips are so chapped. I'm sorry that I'm venting so much. People need to hear the story because, first of all, I don't want it to happen to another woman. This should not be happening to anybody. I don't care if the people are like, oh, it's just a joke, you're taking it too seriously. It's a joke that's gone on for too long. It's a joke that's gone on for 6 years of my life. I mean, I have debt. I have banks. I have Synchrony Bank calling me every day. I have Chase payment plans. I have very little in my bank account. It's not funny. Financial sabotage is not funny. Making someone sick on purpose is not funny. I don't know what kind of joke people think that it is, but it's not funny. So, you know, people are like, oh, you rely on the justice system? You think police are going to help you? You think they're going to give a shit? And in my world, growing up as a little girl, a few years ago, I would have been like, yeah, of course. Why not? That's what they're supposed to do? You rub someone the wrong way, they don't like you, you disagree with them or whatever, and I truly hope that it hasn't come to the point that we become prejudiced against people or hold biases against people. Like, oh, I'm not going to help her because she doesn't support this, and this, or I don't want to help her because she's Hispanic, or she's like 10% Jewish, or whatever. Like, I've never, or she's too Christian, or she's not Christian enough, or she doesn't act like a Christian. What is a Christian supposed to act like? I know they say about manifestation and law of attraction and focusing on what you want and writing it down, and this fly is just, you're testing my patience, buddy. You're testing my patience. So, and I remind myself, like I see the word grace right now, I remind myself, give myself grace. But I just feel like everyone knows except me. I feel like every single person knows exactly what's going on except me. But my health is suffering, my eyesight is suffering, because I've never seen little prism things ever in the corner of my eye, and it overlays the font and my number. Like, it's scary, and I go, maybe because I'm looking at screens too much or too much stress, but that's terrifying. Health is truly wealth. Health is wealth. And I just want to also reiterate that if you do have people in your life that truly, truly support you, and how you know that they do are, these are the people that they won't expect anything out of you. Meaning, like, they won't go, okay, but what, quid pro quo, what's in it for me? What am I gonna get? Those are selfish people. People who do things out of the generosity and the kindness of their heart. That's why we have saints, like I don't know, Saint Nick or Saint Patrick, or one of the two. I can't remember which one specifically. It's in my saints deck, but or Saint Nick, I think. Or I don't remember which one it is. It's the patron saint of, like, generosity, and he gave gifts or gold coins or something. And yeah. And I think that's what we're kind of lacking right now in the world. Is just people, is generosity. I feel like everyone always wants to one-up someone else. Oh, Ashley wants help? Oh, no. We're not good. She wants special help. She wants special privileges. I didn't ask for that. I just asked for justice. I asked to not have my phone hacked. I want normal food. I want to be left alone. I want privacy. I want my human rights to be respected and not violated. Because I guarantee that if I had the ability to do so, and I could look into people's phones or emails or computers, I think there would be a lot of back and forth conversation between individuals where I think my jaw would drop on the floor if I found out what exactly people did to try to either ensnare me, murder me, unalive me, off me, trick me. And by the grace of God, I've managed to survive it. And now people are really upset, and I don't even know why. And I go, murder is illegal. I don't care if you don't touch me. If you put some chemical or some poison, they know that could injure somebody. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that. It wreaks havoc on the nervous system. It wreaks havoc on the urinary tract, on the kidneys, on the liver, in the blood. It causes cancer. So why would someone continuously, perpetually do that? And then if someone says, oh, well, go get tested, well, I'd have to make sure it's by an honest doctor, because a lot of the doctors will either, they get paid, like they get told, oh, don't If the person's targeted, they'll go, okay, don't give them the real information and let them suffer because we want to see how it plays out, you know, because they're targeted, or they run the risk of losing their business. Because I think that's how it works. Like if they help the TI or in any way, I think they run the risk, unless they're valiant and patriotic, you know, and brave. It really makes you realize like how honest and ethical are people when presented with, would you rather do this or would you rather do this? I need to notate this. I'm notating every 6:42. Every single time I hear a siren. 6:42. Oh, it's very muggy in here. 6:42. Lots of sirens right now, if you can't hear them. So far it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. 9 times I've heard ambulance sirens and stuff go off. Sometimes I used to tell myself, oh, maybe it's like a warning sign, you know, from God, like, be careful or whatever, you know, or what you say or what you do. But at the same time, I go, well, what are, I already, like, I went to the ER, so it really won't, it's futile because they won't really do anything. It's like, oh, I'm going to warn you, be careful, but there's nothing I can do to help you. So, and all these people need to do is just let it go. All they need to do is just let it go and stop bothering me and tell me the truth. Treat me like an equal, treat me like a human. I walk into a clinic, I walk into a hospital, no weird situations, no funny business. You know, truth, authenticity. No weird chemical sprays in the air. Like, I know, like, I'm petrified to ever go to a hospital ever again in my life. I've never been allergic to a saline flush before, ever, in my life. If you don't know what that is, it's basically water mixed with, like, saline. It's just like salt water, basically. It cleans out a line. And, or flushes the line, if you will, and it literally, I don't know, it destroyed it. I had a huge rash all over my body and my abdomen after, and it was terrifying. So I don't know what that's about. It's like, I don't know, I need to marry, I don't know if they marry a doctor or marry someone who, you know, knows, whatchamacallit, knows medicine to some degree, you know, but hopefully won't kill me, because there's also crazy doctors out there, crazy residents, and, you know, who are very weak-minded and have low self-esteem and would go, oh yeah, I'll mistreat her, and, you know, so anyways, love and light. I know that sounds very cliche. Love and light always. I pray to God that I don't develop any autoimmune disorders one day, like MS or anything like that, because at the rate that I'm going, it's the likelihood of that happening is very, 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 very high, because just, yeah. Because if you think about it, all the stress you put on your body, that will have an effect. And I know that I'm not, in the apartment that I'm in, I don't know if I need to buy a new air purifier. I know I need to get a new filter. But I feel like I'm inhaling very stuffy, stagnant air. And also, too, one of the running themes is in all the apartments that I've been in, see, look, yes, neurotoxins. mercury, bee venom, Botox, terrifying stuff. All the apartments I've been in, they've rigged like the AC systems, and they'll put like this weird refrigerant gas to come through the thing, and I go, and this is, I ask myself, I go, why, God? I go, why? I go, why? Like, why is this happening to me? And how are they getting away with it? Because federally speaking, I'm pretty sure it's a crime. So I've reached out to like different, I'm not going to say who or what, I've tried reaching out to different people. I understand that my situation is probably like very minute in comparison to like more pressing matters of things in the world, but this is violence not just against humanity, but violence against women, because I am helpless. I can't fight back with biochemical warfare. I can't. How am I supposed to deal with like someone injecting me with something that could nearly stop my heart, or could cause an allergic reaction or something in my body that could nearly kill me? So maybe when my dad said this is your challenge, maybe, yeah, like maybe it's my, you know, I don't know, maybe it's my journey, but I feel like I'm on the brink, like I'm almost on the brink of death. It always feels like that. The temperature fluctuations, the neurological issues, my stomach feeling like it's in pain all the time, the rash I get on my belly after I drink milk or water or something. So yeah. And I never thought, unfortunately, I never thought I would be in poverty ever in my life. And if you say, oh, you put yourself there, no. It was premeditated, and it was sabotage. It was purposely done that way so that I would basically have little to nothing and literally almost end up homeless. I'm not kidding. I'm like 100% sure that's what's going on. And I don't know if people find this entertaining. I hope people wouldn't find it entertaining, because I don't think this is entertaining. To humiliate someone and degrade someone so that they become dirt broke, sick, in pain all the time, isolated, like that's not funny to me. That's not funny. And it's definitely not American. So I don't know what's next, guys. I don't know. I don't know what's next. And I also don't, I don't want to be an imposition on anybody. That's the thing too. I don't want to be an imposition on somebody, but I know for a fact I don't want to be alone. But I also don't know who to trust. I don't want to be alone. But then I also don't know who to trust. And then my situation is so unique. What am I going to do if I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm screaming because I'm having a nightmare? And, and trust me, I've tried, you guys know I've been trying to do the dating thing. I do the, dating as a targeted person series, because I told myself I deserve happiness and I deserve a normal life. And if you say, well, that's crazy, if you're saying that someone's trying to murder you or kill you and putting hits out on you and all this stuff, then why would you even try? And I go, because I deserve that. Just like I want to make friends. But who wants to hear this nonsense 24/7? But I know that if I had a friend going through it, I would say, hey, we're going to figure this out together. I may not have all the answers, but I'm going to compile all the resources I can, and you're not alone in this. I haven't heard one person tell me that. You know, I just realized that I haven't heard one person tell me that, except one guy who I connected with. I met him through YouTube, and I actually realized recently, I feel kind of bad that, like, you know, I wasn't a jerk. I should have been more upfront and honest about my decision, about my apprehension, about not moving to this certain location that he wanted to move to, because he seemed really endearing, like he had good intentions to help me. And then, you know, he was one of the few people, I mean, I don't know, he sounded genuine, like, oh, I'm gonna help you, you know, I'm not gonna let anything happen to you, and I'm sorry you're going through this, and it's hard to trust. Is someone telling the truth? Is that real? Is that genuine empathy? And you don't know, because when you've been so betrayed, you don't know. But I just realized I haven't heard anyone tell me, like, I may not understand what you're going through, but I got you, and we're gonna figure this out together, and yeah, you can stay with me for this amount of time, or, you know, we'll figure it out. And like, I had a great grandmother, I think her name was Remedios. I don't know if it was Milagros or Remedios. And she had a home, like a shelter in a Jesuit church in downtown Miami. And she would cook vegan food for these men who, like, she didn't know, like, she would let them come in, and she would rehabilitate them. And she was apparently a really good soul. And to me, that's the kind of person that I am, that if you're hurting and you're in pain, I would help you. And I understand logistically that things don't always, it's not a fairy tale like that. Things don't just, like, you know, poof, like, oh, you know, but in my mind, I go, anything is possible. Like Audrey Hepburn says, nothing is impossible, right? So I don't really know, folks, what to do, because getting a lawyer seems, I don't even know what I would be fighting for. And even if, like, let's say there was a case, or let's say if I did have some emotional, personal injury case or something that I don't want to ruffle anyone's feathers. I don't want to make matters worse. And even if I won something, like, let's say $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 for just my suffering of whatever, the finances and the mental anguish and the sicknesses and all that stuff, and the job loss, not the job loss, but, like, you know, I had to resign from jobs because of the PTSD, or the moving constantly, or feeling like I was being trafficked. Who's to say that the targeting wouldn't stop? Because, yeah, and then I could have money, but who's to say that people won't, like, maybe they won't stop. I would be a targeted person with cash or with money. But here's the thing, too, though. The other thing I thought about, it could be also, my name, something could be, like, my name could be on a list somewhere, even though when I do my background check, it says that I'm not on a watch list. But there can be some other nondescript list that I don't know about that I'm on, that is for people that get watched. I don't know. There was a judge that lived across the street from me back home in Miami, and she said, yeah, oh, there's stuff like that where there's watch lists where, you know, people get put on that, you know. And I don't know what that means. Endings, marriage. I don't know. I just read stuff and I'm like, it says endings, marriage, adjudication. Someone's marriage is ending or will end, I guess. Because someone feels trapped or, like, imprisoned, I guess, by their partner. I don't know. Go figure. I just read the energy. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So, to be continued. maybe I should do a reading. I feel I've been slacking on my PDUs for Child Life for a while now. Now I feel like I'm back at square one with the food thing all over again. Because before it was doing so well where I was eating and I was gaining weight. And now, nope. Now I'm back at square one. I lost weight and now I have to gain it again. And losing weight is not good, folks, because your body temperature goes down, your human growth hormone goes down. It's not a good, place to be in. So, very, very frustrating. So, and I'm not close to a food bank. Honestly, I don't really know if I can trust going to, I could trust going to a food bank. So, because I remember I opened a can of soup from the supermarket, and for some reason, the moment it touched my lips, I almost felt like I was going to faint. It was bizarre, and I go, how does soup make someone faint? Like, I literally was like, I almost felt like I was going to just faint. So, if you have any information, like I said before, to make this brighter, it would be helpful. I don't really know much about Section 8 housing. I know I said something before about, like, if you're targeted and you need a roommate. I don't really know if that's a good idea, just because YouTube is a wide array of random people, and I just more so did this channel as a form of peer support, and I wanted to get my story out there because I'm literally afraid of being murdered, and I didn't want, if anything did happen to me, I didn't want people to go, oh, it was a suicide, she took her life. No, it would be because either I was burnt out and exhausted and my body just couldn't take it anymore, or like I was legit murdered, like on purpose, by someone putting chemicals and poisons and things like that in my food. So, but also, and just like I mentioned, just be very mindful when you pull cards, because if you put too much energy into it, then, and if you're so desperate about it, then it may not always turn out the way that you'd hoped. And you can't force outcomes. You can't force fate. You can only kind of go, okay, if this is the energy right now, what's the trajectory, or what's the possibility? How are things going to turn out or play out if things, given the course of the way things are going right now? So, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. And the other thing I want to leave you with is always, always trust your gut, even if it upsets people. Because I'm telling you, I have made the mistake of downplaying my wants and my needs, whether it's in relationships with people. Like, for example, and I'm going to be very, very candid with this, and this is a lesson for people out there. I have had, I don't want to say unsafe sex, and not risky sex, but I have had unprotected sex before. I'm sure other people have, but you up your risk of HIV, STDs, all these things if you do that. And it feels better for the man, obviously. And I, being kind of naive the way I was in the whole thing, I was like, yeah, I'll go along with that, not knowing, like, you can get obviously pregnant, but you can get HIV, you can get STDs and STIs, and nothing is worth compromising your health, even if you're on birth control, even if they withdraw or whatever. That's one example of, like, downplaying your wants and needs to make someone else happy. I learned that lesson recently, and I've gotten into fights with some people about it, and they're like, oh, but we have already done it, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. It does feel good without it, but, like, I think the universe is biting my butt now for that, honestly. Like, I think I'm getting karma for that, because I've been sick and stuff. Not to say that there's a correlation. I got negative for all that stuff, but I also too, like, I never wanted to move to this area, to Midwest, to Chicago, and I did so because, you know, my family was like, that's the only choice, we're not gonna let, you know, it's either that or whatever. And because I don't have any funds right now, I felt kind of obligated to comply and acquiesce with that. And that's why it's always good, folks, like, and I had my savings, so I can't really say that I had savings. It's good to be your own solid form of support monetarily, because look at my situation now. So if you happen to be a police officer watching, which I don't know if they do, and hopefully you're one of the good ones, because I do believe hopefully there are good ones. Some of them I think are kind of pompous and arrogant, no offense. I'm not trying to be rude, but I think some of you guys think like you're like really cool because you have the vest and stuff, but how do you treat people? You know, that's the true test. Especially someone who's in pain and needs help and is suffering and has been a victim over and over and over again. Because being a bystander is just as worse as it's like being an accomplice to it, you know? If you know someone's being bullied and tortured and abused and you sit there and you allow it, then you're just as bad as the person that's facilitating it and doing it. Oh my God, did you see how much hair just came out? So yeah, I'm going to pray that, I don't know, I'm looking into resources to try to figure out what to do and where to go and stuff like that, because my family basically says, oh, you're stuck, you can't go anywhere. But I know in my heart that if I don't leave here, then I can't do another 4 months till October here. I will fall apart. I know for my mental health, like, a change of scenery would do wonders. I just don't know if the people who are doing all this stuff and facilitating it will be so gracious enough to allow me to have the ability to do that, you know, because they'll go, oh, she wants to go where? Oh, no, we're going to make this hard for her. We're going to put roadblocks. We're going to mess with the car. We're going to do this, you know. So, yeah. But prayer is powerful. If you make fun of me and you're like, oh, she's a silly Christian girl, she's always talking about God, and, you know, at least when you think about it, like, tell me, when you look at, where's that deck? When you look at one of these cards and it says, like, divine energy on it, it literally says divine energy. It's a beautiful card. It has this landscape on it. I don't know if it'll come out. Oh, look what came out. Achievement, completion, reward. I didn't expect to do a reading right now. It's like an impromptu reading. But not to say it's a self-reading, but someone, it looks like they're running a race and he won something. Completion, reward, achievement. But there's a card, and then the freedom card was popping out too. I'm just going to try to find it though. Oh, here it is. Got it. Number 44. Divine presence, the force of love and creation. If you look, it's like a beautiful meadow by a lake with this beautiful sun shining through with the clouds, with this bed of flowers, with pine trees. I don't know where this is, but to me it's a lovely card. So, like, how could you not feel some sort of peace and serenity when you see that, you know? Or your eternal spirit when you see that sacred intuition and the higher self. Like meditation. I've been realizing I do need to meditate more. So I'm gonna try my best, folks, but I can't do this on my own. And I know I have this mug that says, if all you have is God, then that's enough. But I know that I need someone or a group of people or someone by my side to help encourage me or motivate me or at least believe in me and support me, because, and with my health too, because I can't do it alone. I can't. See, emotional desert, isolation. And that's what I feel a lot of the times. Kinship. Yeah, isolation, the kinship from family, from the community. I feel isolated from my community, big time. Look, kinship, family, yeah. Interesting. That's really interesting. Freedom. And that's the thing, I never meant to hurt my family through any of this at all. Confusion. I never meant to hurt my family through any of this. But I kept getting pushback about my perception, my experience, and I kept getting invalidated. Oh, it's not happening. Your food's not being poisoned, this and this, even though I bought tests showing like, oh, but look, this came back a little positive of this. I did a hair metal test and it said that I had aluminum or tin in my blood, which aluminum and tin is not supposed to be in your blood, and it hurts your heart. Like, that hurts your heart and it lowers your body temperature. So, you know, either way, I'm hoping that there will be good Samaritans or good people, because my biggest fear, and I don't want it to come true, is that on the flip side, there are also people, be mindful of this too, there are people who will feign affection, or they will play like, oh, I have your best interests at heart and I care about you, but I'm really planning to sabotage and undermine you, you know? Like, that's another thing I've noticed, that people will try to reel you in and be like, I'm totally, I believe you, I'm on your side, but really they're like, you know, I don't know, pretending, and I don't know what satisfaction someone would get from that, but I'm just trying my best. And I don't want to give up on truth. I don't want to give up on justice. And, you know, I've reached out. It's going to sound crazy. I've reached out when this all started. I reached out to different newspaper outlets. I reached out to, obviously, law enforcement. I tried to get legal aid at one point. And I know I have to stop talking about this and let it go, but it's just, this is my predominant reality right now. And I'm trying to figure out a way to solve it, you know, without getting killed, because I feel like I'm being murdered slowly, you know. I'm not kidding. I feel like my blood is getting just ruined, and my brain and my nervous system. What was I gonna say? Oh, that I reached out to the Biden administration. I'm not kidding. But that was through the White House thing, you know, the whitehouse.gov thing. And I remember when I did that, my dad's like, they get so many emails, they're not gonna know about your thing, they're not gonna care. And I'm like, but I care, you know, I care, and I'm a US citizen. I'm part of that macrocosm, you know. So, and then I reached out to the Obama Foundation. I did. I wrote to, like, the contact page, and I was like, I'm sorry to burden you. That was years ago. I don't know what compelled me to do that. I don't even know what I thought I was going to even get out of that, but I just, to me, sometimes I'm like, I look at President Obama as like a superhero, and, but in the same token, you know, I don't really know about much about President Bush. I don't think he was in office when I don't know. But then, And then President Trump, like, I don't know. I've tried everything, you know, and President Trump, you would think, I mean, he's pretty bold, so, but I don't know if he would even care enough to, like, even, like, you know, I have nothing to offer. Like, I don't have a peace treaty, I don't have, you know, I just want to feel safe, you know. So, I don't know, and I just feel like there's things that I'm not being told. So, and I don't want to die either. I'm scared of dying, like, and I don't want to manifest that, but I'm just really tired. I'm really tired. I'm hungry, and I feel like I've been battered and bruised and abused and used. And medically assaulted too. And I don't know how to get my life to go back to normal. Because I feel like everyone else, like even when I see coworkers and they're like, you know, oh, I ate this today, or I'm gonna go here and this weekend, and I'm like, I forget that people live normal lives. Like, oh, we're gonna go kayaking, or we're gonna go to the lake, or we're gonna go to a cabin, or we're gonna take our dog hiking, or we're gonna go to the barbecue pit. We're gonna go see our nieces and nephews, you know, and go to the fair. I don't get to do any of that. My life has just been survival mode. For 6 years, it's just been survival mode. And I don't want to end up in a hotel or a motel. Because I've nearly almost got, like, trafficked in one. I'll never forget, I woke up with the weirdest taste in my mouth at one of them. One of them was a cabin in North Carolina. It was horrible. And then another one was, like, in South Carolina, off the road. And that's when I rented a pickup truck. And I was so knocked out. And I don't know how, I don't know. And I shouldn't have to go through that. And I shouldn't have to, you know, people should believe that and take it at face value, you know. And cops should be more, like, willing to help. Because it's not right to do that to a young woman. And I don't know how I'm going to get water and nutrients in my body. I don't know. Because every single time, like I said, I drink water, I get a rash, or I get sick, or I get weaker and fatigued. And I should feel replenished, not depleted. And I feel worse off after when I drink water. So I don't know what's up with that. Prosperity. Justice. I don't get what that means. Oh, well, I do get what that means. So, this did come out. This guy reminds me of Thor. Every time I see this guy's face, he reminds me of Thor. He's like very handsome looking, and he's holding scales. It does say prosperity, abundance, success. It looks like the yellow brick road. A road paved with gold. And there's like a castle at the end of it. That's like a fairy tale, but I don't know what that's about, but that's nice. It's very lovely. It says abundance and success, justice, harmony, solutions. So that's a good thing. It would be really nice if my body would, you know, divine presence, if my body would also match that energy. I just don't know how to do that when I feel so low and solo, like by myself. And when people say, oh no, you're a strong, riveting, independent woman, and I go, well, sometimes I'm, you know, not weak and feeble, but sometimes you know that you do need support, and you do need someone to help you. And I can pray till I'm blue in the face, and I do, and I prayed to God, and I said, you know, angels in heaven, saints, everyone, I can't see you, I don't know what you guys look like, but I really need your help. And I'm really scared. And I don't want to lose faith and hope, but I feel like my body's falling apart, my body's failing me, and I don't feel good. And I just want people to be honest. That's all. I just want people to be honest. So again, if you happen to know anything at all about anything, by chance, maybe you know me from like childhood or middle school, or from Florida, from college, or you've heard about my story through the grapevine, like, you know, in Finding Nemo. Might be a silly analogy, but you know, like when Marlin the dad goes and he like tries to get his son Nemo back, and then he goes to the EAC, the East Australian Current, and then he meets Crush, and he meets Crush's son Squirt, and he's like, dude, and he's like, no way, dude, and he's like, how old is a turtle? And he's like, whatever. And then they tell the story to each little like crustacean, the little lobsters and the swordfish and the, you know, the little seagulls that are like, mine. Anyways, you'll get that if you're a Disney person. If you're not a Disney person, you won't understand it. But it's maybe like that. So if you know about my story and you're like, this is bullshit, she should know the truth, like she needs to be told the truth, versus giving her this runaround and, you know, thing, making her suffer. I would hope that you would do that, because I am falling apart here, and I am being destroyed every single day, little by little, piece by piece, literally. And I've never, ever in my life, I've never been sick consecutively for like 4 weeks straight. So, any tips, any ideas you may have would be very, 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 very much appreciated. So, much love, much light, and prayers are very much appreciated always. And I may not know you, I don't know what you look like, I don't know your story, and my story, by the way, is not better than yours. Everyone's story is different. I saw a video of a veteran who was eating pizza in a hotel room alone, and he was like doing a Cash App thing, and he's like, support me and whatever, and I'm like, this guy's doing his thing, you know, we're all trying. But I know in my heart of hearts that I feel like there's a legit human rights crime or injustice or abuse going on, and I can't put my finger on it, but these people are ruthless, and they don't care about how I feel, they don't care how about my body feels, and if they had their way, I probably would have been dead yesterday, or 2 days ago, a week ago, 3 months ago. And I don't understand for the life of me how anybody could wish evil or death upon another person. I will never understand that. I can get so angry at someone for something, but I will never, ever go as far to be like, I hope they die. They don't need to live anymore. But apparently some group or individuals feel compelled to impose that upon me. So, any help again would be appreciated. God bless.